The official narrative is that your hair is dead. But did you know that your hair is actually an extension of your nervous system and what some call your sixth sense? Some believe that longer hair transmits data of information from the environment around you to your limbic system, your neocortex, and your brainstem. They say that your hair actually works as an antenna, giving you heightened awareness and spatial capabilities. The military was infatuated with this idea and tested this theory out themselves. Listen to this.
This is the truth behind the Native Americans' long hair and why it led to an odd experiment in the Vietnam War. The United States Army recruited Native Americans because of their incredible tracking skills. Like all soldiers, the new recruits had to cut their long hair before going into battle, and it wasn't long before the Army officials discovered that Native American recruits, they weren't doing any better than the American soldiers were. When the officials questioned the Native American soldiers about their lack of tracking skills, they told them about their hair. By forcing them to cut off their hair, they'd also cut off their incredible tracking abilities. Well, the Army decided to find out if that was true. It did sound completely implausible, but they planned the experiment anyway. During the Vietnam War, 2 Native Americans were recruited. They were known as the First Nation soldiers. One of the First Nation soldiers was allowed to keep his hair long in the traditional braids. The other was told to buzz his hair the way the other GIs did. Late at night, the 2 First Nation soldiers were sent out into the jungle. Because this was just an experiment to determine if the legend was true, they didn't send the First Nation soldiers out into enemy territory. Instead, they had a few of the First Nations' fellow soldiers play the part of the enemy. It was their job to find the First Nation soldiers in the dead of night and capture them. And the results of the experiment were shocking. The 2 First Nation soldiers were out in the jungle. The soldier with the buzz cut, he wasn't out there for very long before he was captured by the so-called enemy soldiers. He was quickly returned to base to wait for the soldiers to seek out the long-haired First Nation soldier. The enemies found out quickly that it was not going to be as easy to find the long-haired soldier. As he sensed them coming from far away, he was able to make his escape. This went on throughout the entire night. Time and time again, the long-haired soldier managed to avoid capture. He was able to track where the enemy was going, and he managed to stay far away from them. When the sun came up, the experiment was over. When the U.S. Army reviewed what happened during the experiment, they found that during the night the long-haired First Nation soldier had gone to sleep on 2 occasions and was still able to sense when the enemy was close by. Despite the fact that he was asleep, he still managed to avoid capture. This left the non-believers in the United States Army stunned. They started to realize that what the Native Americans were saying about their superpowers, as unbelievable as it sounded, was true. They had proof that the soldier's long hair helped him avoid capture during the night, and things had to change in the U.S. Army.
This story brings a lot more validity to the story in the Bible of how they took Samson's power away from him by cutting his hair. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment if you were like, no, I knew my hair gave me special abilities. I knew it, because I did. I'm never cutting mine. And as always, peace.